Hey, what's up, my Genesis friends? Today we're going to do a full tutorial on the 2026 GV70 2.5 Advanced. So on the GV70 line, this is about middle of the road. You're looking about $59,000 for one of these. So it still gives you plenty of features. It's a lot of bang for the buck. This one that we're looking at, this is the new color called Ceres Blue, and we've got a vanilla beige interior on this one. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing I want to show you is how to remote start your car from your key fob. So we're just going to look at your key fob here. You've just got your standard buttons: lock, unlock, lift gate button there. This is your panic button. And then on the back is going to be your hold button. So I'll zoom in. That's how you can remote start your car. To remote start your car, you need to be within about 32 feet of it, and you'll always hit lock first. So we're going to go, sorry, no, it's just, there we go. Lock, flip it over, and hold this down right after. There you go. This will run 10 minutes max. If you don't get in the car by 10 minutes, it basically will just shut off. And if you remote start your car from the key fob, it's always going to default to 72 degrees, just so you know. I'm going to go ahead and push the button again just to turn that off. Walking up to the car, you never have to even touch your key fob. You'll sense the key and you'll put your hand in the handle here. That's what will unlock it. And then when you get out, you just press this little button right here to lock the car. And you'll notice that you've got those options on all four handles. Gas is right here. You just come out and push right there to open that up. And then they recommend premium fuel on these. And then your lift gate button is hidden right here. So they started including putting these stickers on here because people couldn't find their lift gate buttons. So that's where it's at. And obviously you can take that sticker off whenever. Okay, let's come over here. I'll just jump in the inside. So you've got all your window controls here. This is child door locks and windows. So if that light is on, then everybody's locked in the back. You can fold in your side mirrors with this button here. Like that. And then you've got your memory here. So once you get everything how you want it, you're going to go set 1 for the first driver and then set 2 for a second driver. And then you can just push your 1 or 2 button to recall it back to where it was. Coming over here, you get your parking brake, but you're barely going to use that because the car is smart enough where if you park on a steep enough slope, then the parking brake will come on automatically, and then when you put it in gear, it'll just turn off for you. So if you do want to do it manually, yeah, you just pull right here, and then to release it, foot on the brake, and you push right there to release it. That opens your lift gate by holding that down. This is illumination brightness for your screen, so if you wanted your screens bright or dimmer, it's that button there. This turns off traction control, and then this is a downhill braking control button. So if you wanted the car to slowly roll you down a hill, and we're talking 10-15 miles an hour, maybe there's like an icy driveway or something, you press that button, take your foot off the brake, and the car will do all the work, and it'll just slowly roll you down the hill. Seat controls are pretty easy here, just forward and backward, up and down with this one. That tilts the back of the seat, and then you've got your 4-way lumbar support there. You adjust your steering wheel with this one here, just up and down, forward and backward, and then your lights. And yeah, you just basically set that to auto is what most people do. You'll know it's in auto because you'll see this little arrow right there. All right, let's jump in and go to the next section. Okay, we are in the car. The first thing that I like to do is make sure we get our profile all set up. And before we do this, you're going to want to make sure you've got both keys on you, because we're going to set up a fingerprint reader, and you have to have both keys in the car in order to do that. First thing you want to do is we're basically going to press our home button to start off right here. You'll notice we've got this little icon right here, and you're going to press this. You'll want to make sure that you are in driver 1. There's basically driver 1, driver 2, and a guest. So if this is your car, if you're going to be the primary driver, make sure you go change user, and we want to be in driver 1 here. These are the settings of what you do to get all your profile set up. So you start off with your name, and you would just tap that, you would change name, and you would type your name in there. If you've got connected services all set up, it's very common. You'll see that your name has already been filled in there. Next thing you'll do is you'll hit password, and then you will put in a 4-digit PIN. You'll put that in twice. And then you're going to set up your fingerprint reader. Once again, both keys need to be in the car, so you'll go fingerprint identification, and then you'll set up your password. And then what it's going to do, and I'm not going to do it right now because I don't have both keys with me, but it's like setting up a new phone. You're basically, this is your fingerprint reader right here. And I've got another video, see my video I did a couple weeks ago that shows exactly what you can do with the fingerprint reader. But it's like setting up a new phone. You basically, it'll just have you move your fingerprint around a bunch of different positions. And you're going to work your way up to 100%. It'll tell you up on the screen what percent you're at. Important thing, and I always talk about this in every single video, make sure after you do that, turn off profile lock. So once you get your fingerprint in there, go back into these settings, go into profile lock and say do not use. Profile lock means it's going to require your fingerprint to unlock the screen every single time you start the car, and that gets super annoying. And then your profile image is basically just like a little fun way of customizing your profile, where you can pick one of these images to be the little circle up here on the top left of the screen. There. The perfect next thing I like to do is make sure your time is right. So it's really easy on these cars. All you have to do is just tap this time right here, and that will bring you up to your time settings. And then for me personally, where I'm at, it's 11:59, so I'm just going to tap daylight savings, and that will automatically fix the time. So you'll have to, once daylight savings ends, you'll have to go into this and then just uncheck that box. All right, perfect. So profile is all set up. Next thing you want to do is get your memory all squared away. So once again, you're going to move your seat around. You're going to do your side mirrors, and that's done by selecting the left or right button and then just using these arrows here to adjust that. Your right button, move that around like that. You'll set up your steering wheel as well. And then once you get that how you want it, you're just going to go set 1. So we'll go, and it tells you right there that that has been saved to the 1 button. Okay, let's get your phone all connected to the Bluetooth. These new ones have a wireless CarPlay, so most people prefer to use that. So I'll show you how that will work. So you're going to grab your phone. You're going to go into the settings on your phone and then Bluetooth. It's going to look like that, your Bluetooth menu. In the car, we're going to press our setup button right here. And then I'm just going to use the dial. I'm going to go over to device connections, select that. And then device connections, and then we're going to hit add, and then we're going to look for GV70 on our phone.
Turn Bluetooth on in your mobile device in order to search.
It's usually down at the very bottom here. You can see it.
Select the name that matches vehicle name on the screen.
And then we'll just tap pair and allow. It's going to ask me if I want to use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. I'm going to say connect, and then you'll get a prompt here. Yes. And then we'll get one more prompt here on our phone. Right there, just to allow the other apps. Okay, there we go. So there is CarPlay going. Okay, perfect. So that is all connected. I'll show you a little bit more how that works. So what I like to do is start off with the radio. Actually, what I like to do is I like to ask customers, what are you going to be listening to while you drive around? And usually they'll say like, yeah, things from my phone or the radio. So what we do is ask yourself, what are you going to be listening to? And we're going to hold this button down, because what this is going to do is it's going to allow this button to be our audio source button, so we can cycle through anything we're going to be listening to. So we're going to hold this down. It's going to bring up the screen here, this menu. And then if you're going to be using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you want to select phone projection. If you're not, if you're just going to be doing regular Bluetooth, then just hit the Bluetooth there. So I'm going to go this one here, and then some FM. Perfect. Next thing I want to do is I'm going to set up my presets on the radio of what I'm going to be listening to. So I'm going to press radio, and then we've got our radio screen here. I always hit HD radio to just give us as much information as possible. Now you're going to find the station that you like, and then once you find it, you hit the star to save it as a preset. And the easiest way to do it is just to roll this little tuner knob here to find the stations you like, and then you'll just save that as a preset right there. All right, perfect. The other thing you can do too is you'll notice this Bang & Olufsen button up here. So it gives you two different options of reference or surround. Reference is basically just like how the music was created. It's the most original sound, but you could push this and it's going to give you more of like a surround sound effect. So I'm just going to put that into reference. I don't hear too much of a difference with it, but you might like that. So you can press your AM button here and then satellite radio right here, and then once again just find the stations you want and save them as presets. The cool thing about Genesis cars is that all of your presets are on one giant list, so you don't have to go through, you don't have to go to AM and then have separate presets and then satellite radio separate presets. So find everything that you want, save it, and then they'll all just be on one giant list for you. All right, perfect. So what we're going to do now is we are going to start with the right side of your wheel. Okay, so this is your volume up and down here. And then you can push it straight in to mute your music. You just give it a push, and you'll notice that muted it. Okay, so now let's say you've got a bunch of radio stations saved. What this little optical mouse button will do here is you swipe your finger across it to go through your radio station. So you'll notice I'm just going to go a little swipe, and you'll see that bumping back, going through those. Now this button right here, once again, we programmed this to go through our, Apple CarPlay and then back over the radio. So that's going to bump through our audio sources. Okay, if somebody calls you, you answer and hang up with this button. So this is the same button for both, or you can press it to bring up basically your phone menu of what you've done recently, your contacts and whatever. Okay, now this button right here is your voice recognition button. It does multiple things. If you are going to be using Apple CarPlay, all you have to do is say, "Hey Siri," "Hey Siri," and she goes, and then she'll go pink and purple waiting for a command. But if you don't want to say that, or if you don't have that set up on your phone, you can do a long press of this button to access Siri as well. So you go, hold it in, there you go.
Sorry, I don't understand.
So yeah, it's just a few seconds holding this button in to access Siri. If you want to make voice commands using the car's interface, it's a single press of this button. So once again, a long press would be Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. But if you want to use a car's interface, like say you're just using Bluetooth, then you could do a quick press on this button, and then you would say call so-and-so, or if it's like a navigational thing, you could say find Costco or navigate to. So it's just going to be a quick press, and then that will. So when before you get this set up, you might get some annoying pop-ups, but
Broader network searches are available with a subscription to Gen.
And you're going to get that annoying pop-up there until I'm going to close that. You're going to get that annoying pop-up until you connect your connected services. But then once that is set up, you don't worry about that. Just a single press will bring it up, waiting for your prompt. So just to recap, yeah, you'll just press that button once. You can say tune to whatever radio station, or find, or call. Now, this star is a customizable shortcut button. I like to program this to go right to Apple CarPlay. So you press it, brings up another menu. Once again, phone projection is the general term for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So I'm just going to check that. And now, watch. Pressing this star, no matter what screen you're in, it's always going to bring up Apple CarPlay for you. All right, perfect. This is an important one. So not only does this optical mouse scroll side to side, sorry, I was going to tell you real quick. If you're listening to music from your phone and you want to skip to the next song, you do that same motion. You just swipe your finger across there. So it goes through radio presets or skipping to the next song if you're listening to music from your phone. But the other thing that it does is it controls this widget up here, this square. And this is where you can find all the information on your car. So it's like your tire pressure. You can have your music up there. You can reset your trip. You can have a compass or a forecast, things like that. If you're getting this little prompt, it's a little tutorial you have to go through. So we're going to just single press, and then on this last one, we're going to hold it down just so it doesn't pop up again. All right, there we go. So how this works is you give it a quick press first. You go one push, and now you'll notice these dots that showed up on the bottom and the side. So now we can swipe side to side and up and down to go through all of our options. So you just kind of mess around with that and find what you want. You'll notice that it always gives you instructions on the bottom of what to do. It says OK ×2 to reset. So that means with 2 presses of the button, everything will go to zeros. So I'm going to go 1, 2. That's how you go to 0. And then you've got the sense refueling option, since last reset. This is the one that's basically just going to keep accumulating until you reset it. So we'll just go 1, 2. There you go. Once you find what you're looking for, let's say I want my music up there, you'll just press the button once to kind of lock it in. If you want it completely gone, once again, we got instructions at the bottom saying hold to close. So I'm going to hold this in. That'll just make it go away. And then a single press would bring it back. There you go. Okay, hopefully that made sense. We're going to come over to the left side of your steering wheel. This turns on cruise control, and it sets at 2. So that's the good thing about Genesis cars, is with one press, it turns on cruise control and sets you at the speed that you're at when you push it. And then you just adjust your speed up and down if you want here. And then not only does this bump up and down, but it clicks straight in like that. And that is a pause and resume for cruise control. So, you know, if you've got 75 miles an hour programmed in, you want to just temporarily pause cruise, you just give that a click, and then you give it another click to resume your 75. Or if you hit your brakes for whatever reason, you can just resume it by giving that a click. This is your adaptive cruise control. This will adjust the distance between you and the car in front of you. So if the car is going slower than you, your car is going to slow down to maintain that distance. So you get to decide how far away you want to be. Basically, distance 1 through 4 with this button here. This is your lane follow assist and lane keep assist button. It's basically lane follow assist is having the car steer for you. You'll know it's on because you'll give it a single press, and then we look for this little steering wheel right here. So when that steering wheel is green is when you know it's active, and it's steering for you. It's proactively keeping you centered in the lane. Something to know is your hand, you just have to have your hand, you need to keep your hand gently on the wheel, and it will do most of the work. So it's not like a full self-driving thing. It's just gonna make driving easier on a road trip. You just barely keep your hand on the wheel, or it will yell at you. So that's turned on and off with a single press of that button. Important thing to know is that that's going to come on automatically with cruise control if you're on the freeway. So if you're on the freeway, you go into cruise control, lane follow assist will come on automatically with that. Now you'll notice that other icon up here. It's a little car between the lines. This is called lane keep assist, and this is the one that's more reactive. It's waiting for you to drift over a line, and then it's going to yank you back into your lane. It only works at 40 miles an hour or higher. So you'll notice that it's just kind of grayed out right now, but the minute you hit 40 miles an hour, then you'll turn green, basically be in standby, waiting for you to drift over a line. I personally don't like it. If you want to turn it off, it's the exact same button, but it's a long press and hold. So you're just going to hold it in for about 5 seconds, and that will go away. There you go. Okay, this little toggle right here, this will bump through your different options of what you want in your cluster in front of you. So you could have your trip information, You could have your widget over there in the middle. You can have your navigational info right there as well. This is the one I kind of recommend because if there's a car in your blind spot, it's going to light up red on the sides of the car here. So just a cool like blind spot thing. But yes, you are going to get blind spot, that triangle on your rear view mirror or the side mirror. That's going to light up as well when there's a car in your blind spot. So personal preference. See what you like. And then once again, this also clicks straight in to give you analog gauges. So if you just push that straight in, it's going to give you an analog gauge option. So a lot of cool customization options here. And then this is another customizable shortcut button. You just press that. It'll bring up your menu of what you want to program that to. Once again, personal preference on that one, but I don't really find anything too valuable on that one. And then you've got your paddle shifters back here. So this will downshift, and then you've got a +1 here, so that will upshift for you. Okay, let's move on. All right, let's talk about navigating. So if you're going to be using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, obviously that's going to be the best and the easiest way to do things. You can always just access, Siri or your Google Assistant to ask for any kind of directions. You've got Apple Maps here, or Google Maps, whatever you want to use. But if you want to use the car's navigation system, then I'm just going to show you how that works. Sorry, I'm going to press map right here. So this is what the car's navigation system looks like. I'm going to close this. If you want to kind of fine tune some things here, what I like to do is hit this menu button right here, go display traffic info. They'll just kind of give you different colors on the streets to let you know how good the traffic is. Also important thing to do is hit this compass and make sure you're doing heading up 2D or heading up 3D. You definitely don't want to do north up 2D. That'll drive you crazy. So do that. And then if you find like the voice is too quiet or too loud, you just tap the bottom of the screen here and it'll bring up your options where you can turn up
Guidance is at this volume.
your volume of the voice.
Guidance will be at this volume.
And unfortunately, you can't change the voice in the car. I've had a lot of customers ask me, usually ladies, like, hey, can I get like a sexy Australian guy voice or a British guy in here? And unfortunately, no, you can't do that. Maybe one day. Okay, so let's say you want to find something. You've got a bunch of different ways of doing it using the car's navigation. You could hit this little magnifying glass right here, and then that will bring up your search screen. The other thing you could do is you can press this nav button right here, and it'll bring up your navigational menu. You'll notice we've got save places, nearby POIs, which stands for places of interest, or we could just go search and it'll bring us to this exact same screen. Then you just start typing things in. Since I'm obsessed with Costco, I always use that for an example. You just start typing that in. It'll give you some suggestions. You've got numbers there for, for a specific address. Go ahead and you pick the closest one, hit route to get that started. That will count down for us. I'll show you what that's going to look like.
Please proceed to the highlighted route. Then the route guidance will start.
There you go. So this will be our line back to Costco. If you ever need to cancel a route, just look for this X right here. So let's say you change your mind and you don't want to go there anymore. You just press that. But the easiest thing to do is, remember how I told you how we've got our voice recognition button right here. To access anything to do with the car's interface, it's a quick press on here. So we're going to go
Broader networks.
cancel route.
Route canceled.
So once again, if you get that pop-up, connected services will cancel that, so you won't have to do that twice. But if you do get it, you basically just press your voice recognition button again to bypass it. So yeah, that's the navigation. Super easy. If you want to zoom in and out, you just twist your dial here, and that will zoom in and out for you. You'll notice too, you can adjust how far away or how close you want it to just kind of auto zoom. So you can adjust that here. Auto means that it's always going to default back to do that back to 150 feet. All right, coming down here, we'll do our air conditioning pretty easy. Just dial in your temperatures with these dials here. You've got a little fan and a big fan to adjust your fan speed, like that. And then you've got these waves right here. If you can select those to dial in where you want the airflow to go. So if you don't want it down on your feet, just press that and turn it off. These are the heated seats, ventilated seats, and then heated steering wheel right here. You've got your front defrost and rear defrost right there. Sink right here, and then that will recycle the air. Coming down here, drive mode selector. So you can bump this down just like that, up and down, to go through your drive modes. So eco mode is going to be just kind of, I call it just wimpy mode. You'll get less power but better gas mileage. Everything's going to kind of soften up on you. Comfort mode is going to be your all-around balanced drive mode for everyday driving. You'll probably be in that most of the time. And then you've got your sport mode here, where the car is going to give you everything it's got, and you're on this advanced. Yeah, you're going to feel more power. The RPMs are going to rev higher. The steering wheel is going to tighten up as well. And then also, there's a drive mode where you can kind of Frankenstein your own drive mode and kind of customize it the way you want. New for the 2026 is a train mode. So if you push it straight in like that, it's going to bring up your train mode. And the only one that you're really going to use is probably the snow mode. You just bump it down. Snow mode is going to transfer more power to the front wheels, giving you like a 50-50 power distribution, and it's going to manage your torque better as well too, so you're not getting too much power in the snow. So it'll always tell you down here what drive mode you are in. So I'm just going to go back to comfort on that. This one right here, idle, stop, and go. So if you don't want your engine shutting off at red lights and stop signs, you would push this, and then that light comes on. That means your engine's not going to turn off when you come to a stop. You're going to have to push this button every time you start the car though, so just keep your eye on that. The easiest way to remember it is light on, engine on. So if this light is on, the engine is always on. And then parking sensors, so just leave that light on so the car beeps at you when you're getting close to hitting things. And then this is your parking view camera, and this allows you to look around your car and get all the different angles. These are your front angles. These are all your rear angles. And then this is your cool 360-degree view of your car. Now you're probably wondering or asking yourself, like, man, it'd be awesome if I could have the actual color of my car and all the settings and the screens. And you are in luck. So something fun that we can do, if you remember, we're in the new Series Blue car. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to press home here. I'm going to start off with my setup button, and then with my dial, I'm going to twist until I get to screen theme / layout, go down one to exterior color, and then I'm just going to twist the dial until I find the right one. And there it is. So you notice we've got that. It also puts the right color there. So now if we go back to our surround view monitor button, you'll notice we've got the right color of car there. And that's going to reflect on all of your setup settings as well. Okay, yeah, fingerprint reader, talked about that. Auto hold. If you don't know what this does, it's basically like a parking brake while you're in drive. So it allows you to come to a complete stop. You can take your foot off the brake and the car is going to hold you in place and not roll forward or backward. So I use it every time I go through a drive-through. Any kind of situation where you're going to be doing a lot of stop and go, don't want to put the car in park, but you also don't want to keep holding in the brake pedal. This is a really good option. You'll know it's working. You give it a push down here it's going to say auto hold in white. So if we were in drive right now, in fact, let's just do that. You put your foot on the brake, you go into drive, and you'll notice that's going to turn green, letting you know that it's holding you in place. So now I just took my foot off the brake and we're not rolling. So, and then you just basically just hit the gas again to override it. And then every time you come to a complete stop, it'll just turn green and hold you in place. I'll just go back and park. So another personal preference thing there. I'll just turn that off for now. All right. Okay, wireless phone charger right here. These buttons right here basically control the seat. So if you want to control the passenger seat from the driver's side, you can do that. And yes, they've got buttons over there too to control their own seat. Okay, we're going to come up here. I'm going to turn this on. I always turn that on. That means all the interior lights will come on if a door opens. And then you've got lights right here, here, and here. Sunglass holder, sunroof, and then these two buttons called Genesis. So if you just have a general question or if you need roadside assistance, you press that one. And then this one is full on emergencies. You have to really, really mean it on that one because the cops are going to show up. And then you've got your home link system right here on the bottom of your rear view mirror. Okay, we're just about done. We're going to do some fine tuning on a couple things. If you want to get your music all dialed in, just like the tone of your music, press your setup button, you go sound, and then you go to this Biosonic thing, and then they don't have like a treble, mid, and bass. You just have to drag your finger around to what you like the most. I've found like down here in the bottom right, it sounds really good. If you want a little bit more treble, bring it up. So mess around with that and see what you like. This premium sound up here goes back to what I was talking about with the surround sound thing, so you can kind of adjust more of a surround effect with the music. Let's go back home here. Another fun thing that you're going to want to do, and it's going to be kind of hard to see during the day, but we're going to do your ambient lighting. So you always start off with your setup button, and then with my dial here, I'm going to select vehicle. And then you're gonna twist until you get down to lights right here, and then ambient lighting. You go down to color, and you basically will just twist through here and find what you like. You can do any color you want. If you do set custom color, yeah, you can just twist through all these and pick what you like. We'll do a cool lime green on this one. And then I'm going to just press back, because not only does this twist and select, but it bumps left and right as well. So I'm going to bump it over to the left, go for the brightness, and then you can just crank up your brightness with the dial here. It's all touchscreen too. This dimmed and dark means that at nighttime, to be less distracting, it's going to dim itself. But I personally love ambient lighting and I want it to pop as much as possible, so I would uncheck this. So whatever you want to do there. Okay. Well, guys, that pretty much wraps it up. Something I always like to tell people at the end is in your glove box, there should be a little miniature owner's manual called a quick reference guide. This is going to go over everything that we just talked about. It's just a consolidated miniature version of your owner's manual, so you don't have to dig through the giant book. On the back of it is your maintenance schedule. Plan on about every 8,000 miles for service on this. So I hope this video helped you out. Please, subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's any videos you'd like me to cover. I'd be happy to do that. We'll talk to you later. See ya.